Maybe you purchased Transformers Power the Prime's Rodimus Prime and loved it, didn't love it, and you saw that the Rodimus Unicronus is coming out, and wonder, is there any difference? Did they fix anything? Are the stickers any better? Is it the same exact figure, but just a different coat of paint? We're going to cover all that here and more. Now, if you're looking for transformation instructions, if you look in the description of this video, somewhere in the description, you'll see a link to my full review of Power of the Prime's Rodimus Prime here, and I'll go over everything in that review. This is going to focus just on this, differences, and we'll do one little transformation to show you his space motorcycle. I kid you not. Fan transformations are fantastic, and we're going to get into all that here and more. But anyway, right off the bat, you may be going, well, that looks like Shattered Glass Rodimus. It does look a lot like that, but the box actually tells you a slightly different story. Now, maybe that's because Hasbro doesn't own the intellectual property for Shattered Glass. I don't know the actual reason, but they go down a story where Unicron actually gave Hot Rod the Matrix of Chaos and turned him into Rodimus Unicronus. And also, when he separates from the Matrix, when he becomes Hot Rod again, you'd think that he'd be back to normal because the Matrix is no longer influencing him, but oh no, he turns into Nemesis Hot Rod, which is awesome. Says that right on the box. Let's take a look at how these things look together. Right off the bat, you'll see that the stickers on Hot Rod, they were the flame, and you can see on my copy, see how they're already peeling down? Because they weren't applied that great, and they actually stuck up above the plastic, whereas on this version, they seem to be much more of a better fit. There's no stick up here, so I think that these are actually going to end up lasting longer on this figure than the other one, but let's keep going around. Back of the figure is exactly the same. The molding, I should say, is exactly the same on these two figures until we get to the larger head. Now, just kind of panning the camera, you can see that the in-plastic molding is identical, but the stickers are different, the paint applications are different, and the front of the Space Winnebago, the paint applications are a whole lot different. I love that. That's very evil. It looks very cool. And also, the fact that the fists are black, and these were not black, they're kind of a very light gray color, they're a lot more hidden here. So when you're looking at this vehicle, just as Space Winnebago, you don't see blatant fists right there, whereas this one you really did see that. They just very clearly are fists. So for more of a top-down look, not a big deal, but this guy, if you just have him laying around your room or your shelf or whatever, it's a lot less obvious that there's a couple of hands sticking out there. Now let's go ahead and separate him. This way you can take a look at Nemesis Hot Rod, and I'll also give you a closer look at the paint applications. The lights kind of wreak havoc because it's that kind of foil look to the sticker, but it's black on purple with a lighter shade of purple or a dark blue kind of to offset that. You've got a little bit of purple paint, otherwise this plastic piece is unpainted, whereas on this version, this whole thing was painted, and so that's a little bit different. Now on the back, this piece of plastic right here was the same red, a lot of different color, a lot of different types of reds in this figure, but this was the same as the rest all around it. And in this version, you've got a piece of gray right here, which offsets the black, and it does look pretty cool. Now, Hot Rod and Nemesis Hot Rod are the same exact mold. There's no difference in any part of plastic on this figure. The only difference is the paint applications themselves and the coloring of the plastic, but it's the exact same thing. Now, the decals on the front, or the paint, I should say, really does just scream evil. It's got this kind of Motorhead rock vibe going on, and I really like the way that looks a lot. One thing about Nemesis Hot Rod is it almost has a Batmobile vibe to it, just because of the colors. I can't say that it looks like a Batmobile, but it kind of has that vibe because of the dark black and gray and kind of purple look. Pretty neat, I think. The molding itself, people have asked me if there's any difference in the in-plastic molding. And you can see here with this shot that it's exactly the same. They didn't do anything differently except paint and the clear plastic that's used in the windshield. You've got a red, transparent clear, and you've got a blue on Hot Rod himself. Other than that, the same. And here's a look underneath the figures because we leave nothing left unturned here. Now, I will say that considering this came out second, in theory, I mean, maybe behind the scenes they were made first, I don't know. The joints on Nemesis Hot Rod, especially in these arm pieces right here in the exhaust, are a lot tighter than what I have on Hot Rod. So, pretty cool. I was expecting it maybe to be a bit more loose, and in fact, no, they are indeed tighter. I love the paint up where the engine block would be. That was one thing that I thought was kind of missed out with Hot Rod, is that you didn't have the silver painted engine, and you do have that on Nemesis Hot Rod, so that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at both of these in their robot modes. Alright, so here's Hot Rod and Nemesis Hot Rod compared, and again, exactly the same figure, but we've got a little bit different paint. I love the silver collar that Nemesis Hot Rod has. That looks really good. Also, you have a different color in the eyes. You've got red here. I'll do a close-up here shortly. Chest paint obviously carries over, and it looks so good. It's just so evil. On the crotch flap, you've got purple and black kind of paint right here, where you just have the red plastic. Gray is the main theme, along with black. So you've got gray where all of the yellow and orangey colors are here. Stickers, they could have done the exact same sticker, but instead they did different stickers, which is cool. And here's kind of a neat thing. Hot Rod sticker, the arrows point up. Nemesis Hot Rod stickers point down. Cool little thing right there. I think that's really neat. Let's get up close to the face. There's Nemesis Hot Rod's face, beautifully done. He's got a little bit of plastic hanging under the chin. I would consider that a bit of a defect, not a big deal. Again, you've got to zoom in ultra close to even see it. Here's typically what your eyes would see. So yeah, man, that's probably going to bother me though, isn't it? Same thing with the decals on the arms. See how these are pointing down, and Hot Rod's, they're pointing up. So a very neat little thing right there that I think is very cool. Silver paint right here along with the gray, and everything else is the same. Now on the back of the figure, I've got the backpack removed and folded back up. It's a thing you can do, and I put it on my review of Hot Rod, so check that out. But it basically just pulls out of the peg, a little friction peg, and there's a slot for it there, which leaves the back from having that kibble, so that's cool. Weapons, again, are identical. There's no difference that I can see between Nemesis Hot Rod's weapon and Hot Rod's weapons. They, again, appear to be the exact same thing. Yep, I don't see even different shades. Nothing in the, there's no paint. It's just plastic, and it does appear to be absolutely identical. So you can arm them up with weapons if you so choose to do that. Now, let's get on to some fun stuff. I wish I knew who came up with this. When I saw it, the original poster was not credited, so I feel really bad that I can't give somebody awesome credit for this. But what you can do if you want to make your space chopper, so to speak, what you do is you take what's left here, you separate what become RODIMUS Unicronus' feet, kind of put these to the side, separate. Actually, you want to separate this whole thing. Then you can pull these apart. Bring the entire thing around like that. Bring the feet up. And basically, you want to hook these pieces together. So bring it all the way up like that. Straighten out the legs like that. And then you bring them down at an angle. And you see what you're doing here? You've got your handlebars. Now, there's a little bit of a stretch. You're going to have to use your imagination. It's not perfect, but it is very cool. Now we're going to close up this back side like this, put them together, and you've basically built your chopper for your Nemesis Hot Rod. Let's take a look and see what that looks like when he gets on it. Does this not look kind of cool? I mean, I know it's not perfect. There's not like, proper wheels underneath here. There's no way to really make it roll. But watching him sit on this thing, I'm seeing Lemmy just getting ready to pull out his bass and start playing. This is cool. This is very cool. So that's a thing. If you want to make it a thing in your toy collection, he can ride his kind of his space chopper. And you can position the legs a little bit differently if you want. That's just kind of how I have him set up. You can pull him up closer if you want to. Back the camera up a bit, and there it is. So I think that's really neat. That's very creative. I like how the metallic pieces kind of end up being like the muffler exhaust in the back of this. And I could see this thing flying, like not so much a motorcycle like something that you would see on the street, but you might see this kind of floating around on Cybertron, and that's just got such a cool look to it. So anyway, that's something. Let's go ahead and get him turned into the full-on leader class RODIMUS Unicronus. And transformed, that's what you get. And let's look at the face here. Do you see why I keep talking about Lemmy? I mean, this kind of just, to me, has that Motorhead vibe. He's so cool. He's got the goatee. Very awesome. Completely new head sculpt. Let's compare his face with RODIMUS Prime's. So you can see there's RODIMUS, the very war-torn leader-type face. And that's just the bad man right there. He looks evil in a cool way. So very nice. Let's take a look at the figure from back here. From back here, you've got the full look, and I mean, really well done. I love this mold. I know a lot of people have some issues with it, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's perfect, but it's so good for me. I really struggle when I hear all the issues that people seem to have with it. I really don't. So good. Looking at both of them all the way around, so you kind of see it's the exact same mold, same in plastic details, different paint, different head sculpts, but yeah, these two just look so good. Let's look at closer details on RODIMUS Unicronus. So he has different stickers. So in Hot Rod, this piece right here is a sticker, and RODIMUS Unicronus, he's got that L shape, and then he loses the sticker on top of the shoulder. That's just painted silver. Let me drop my brightness a bit. Okay, again, I love how this part's painted where it's not here. That would have been kind of cool, like a silver colored, you know, something like that. Now for the legs, you've got different stickers. There's RODIMUS Prime's, and there's RODIMUS Unicronus. And again, different. Also, no paint in the foot, and purple paint here. Now the arm joints for me seem to go on and off a little bit easier. They're maybe a little bit softer. So that's kind of cool for people that had issues with that. I think you'll find that this is going to hold up a little bit better than RODIMUS Prime's, you know, when you look at it in the long run. So there's my review of RODIMUS Unicronus. I really think that this figure is great. I'm a fan of the mold. Not everybody is. If you hated Hot Rod and RODIMUS Prime for Powers of the Prime, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to love this figure, but he's got this kind of just awesome evil quality to him. He kind of has that Motorhead vibe. The fact that you can make a fan kind of space cycle for Nemesis Hot Rod to jump onto. Just the way the paint works, the kind of Batmobile look of Nemesis Hot Rod in his vehicle mode. The Space Winnebago with the black fists and a little bit different, kind of hidden a bit more. Overall, I think this figure really works, so I'm a big fan. I definitely recommend it. Anyway, thanks for watching my comparison review. Again, if you want to see full transformation of how this figure works, check out my video in the description. It's the Power of the Prime's RODIMUS Prime review, and I go into absolutely everything on that, so you'll know how to transform this guy like a champ in the event that you need help. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I've got more reviews coming up soon, so stick around. You also can follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook.com/eBEFOREi. I have a group on Facebook. I'll put that in the description as well. I'm on Twitter at eBEFOREiNet, and all of my YouTube videos can be found at youtube.com/eBEFOREiNet. Don't forget to subscribe, thumb up, comment, and talk about my channel amongst your friends. Your support goes a long way. Thank you so much. We'll see you back here again real soon.